right, let's get into it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry for the delayed start. Thank you for your patience. We are here. Thank you for joining Modern Explorers Live. I'm Jay, and I am with the incredible Mick, who's out in the field. Mick, where are you?
I'm not in the field because it's pissing it down here in Sweden.
Oh, rad.
So I'm in my van. I'm in my house, my home. But I'm just getting ready. We'll go out and explore.
Let's check it out.
I'm not at the coolest site, but we've got 3 other sites that we missed in the last 2 days to talk about, which were really cool sites. So.
Awesome. And for those who don't know, Mick's van is kind of our third member of the team, the Modern Explorer Mobile, the SS Shrooms, as it was once called, version 3. The first car we ever went on a trip on was a van that we had rented that came from some really cool little hippy dippy campsite company, and it was called the Shrooms Mobile. We didn't name it; it just came with that name. And now, 3 vans later, Mick pretty much built this one by himself. Plank for plank.
Yeah, basically. Yep, I did indeed. You can have a little look around behind me. This is the kitchen and bedroom. And then I got my bathroom in here.
Full service. Everything you need.
Yeah.
Better than a Citroen Berlingo.
So there you go. Sure. Okay, so it's not raining too badly now, so we've got a hope. Let me shut this up. So where am I? What's this one called? This is called Lekebacken, isn't it?
Lekebacken in Kumla, Sweden. Now. Let's see. Zoom way out on this map. In the southern part.
So I'm going to... Let me switch my camera.
There's some big lakes.
And... There's not much here, really.
Right.
You hear me all right?
Yep.
This is, unfortunately, I was in some really cool places the last couple of nights, but we couldn't manage to live stream. But we have got 110 graves. If we look at the sign here, there is a circle, which we're going to go and have a look at. There's a big sort of like cairn mound made of stones, approximately 3,000 years old. One of the youngest graves is 1,000 years old. 110 graves here, and none have been excavated, so we don't really know what is lying underneath the soil here.
No, this is fascinating because this is an unexcavated area, and a lot of the stuff that we've talked about just on this trip alone was about, like, you know, what did it look like? You know, what was it really before this? If you go to, you know, the Netherlands, all of those have been reconstructed in such a way that you don't really know, you know, how close it was or what sense of change it had. But here, right, this is as it was discovered.
Guessing so, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there will be, you would think anyway, bodies all around here, underneath the ground, obviously. Whether they've been buried with things, I don't know. Whether these rocks, they say, don't know in this area that the rocks signal where a body is buried, but there's nothing to back that up, I don't think, not what I know of. But you brought up LiDAR scanning a couple of days ago, Jay.
Yeah.
And the site I was at last night called Askeberger Stone Ship, they did some LiDAR scanning there. And one of the things they found out, or they think they found out, was that the stones were in the original position.
Yeah.
So there's a photo of the sign in that folder. Sweden Day 5, Askeberger Stone Ship, I think I called it. And it says on the sign it was all about it. They did some excavating there as well. It
Yeah,
was
just looking at that, you can see it says that the 24 stones stand in the same position in which they were first placed. It's more likely the stone circle looked as it was intended, which is interesting.
Yes, and it wasn't a circle; it was a ship, and there were some very interesting things about that site. Actually, it's completely unlike any of the other ships, because the other ships have got the long, thin, standing stones, and this had big, fat, round-looking boulders, and plenty of them had shapes on top that looked like judges could have sat on. I was said in Instagram videos, this is, one of the places where I thought that could actually be true. But it was the energy there was beautiful. Like, people who are into those kind of things. It was an extremely peaceful place. Fantastic. Well, you just know when you go somewhere and you just get a good vibe. It's like same with parties and going into people's rooms and stuff, isn't it? And,
yeah, but these places are often associated with some pretty positive energies. It's rare that you go to them and you feel icky.
Well, but some you do actually. Yeah. I would mostly feel positive, but there are certainly some that are below. For example, I didn't feel good when I went there at all. So I think it can depend on the person and depend on the site. So there's some where, for example, the ley lines, there's negative ley lines. They're called curry lines, and they can also have a negative effect. There's reports online about people get with higher rates of cancer and that kind of thing, where these curry lines, the negative lines, where they cross. But what you say is usually right, Jay. Most of the time I come to these places and they're just calm and peaceful and just make you feel relaxed. They certainly stir the emotions in me, and the one last night I was just very chilled.
And so this is...
But it was a beautiful sight.
Yeah, so you can see these are the stones. They're right where they were. One looks off, slightly off, the one in the upper right. This one looks a little like it's off alignment, but maybe that's intentional. You never know.
Yeah. And also, I think there's a lot of guesswork that goes on with this site. Like, for example, why don't they talk about there's two missing stones then on the end? There's no stones on the end.
Right.
If this is a ship,
right,
what's happened to those stones and were taken and used for building or something? And so that's why.
Something interesting on the right. There is a feature on the right side. Here, I'll make it a little bigger. It's got this like divot hole area. Like there's a stone underneath there. There could have been, God only knows what could have been. But they did the LiDAR and they said that's all 24 stones. It doesn't talk about additional stones though, does it?
No, and a little bit more, to be honest with you. From a LiDAR scanning, like what about the area, and was it layered, and all those kind of things. And so I was a little bit disappointed, because we were talking about it the other day about how they could do LiDAR scanning, and we would love to be able to do that at every site we go to. And then because they did do it, but yeah, I thought they would have found out more. But it was a beautiful place. I'm not sure if you can see, Jay, but some of the stones, as I said, they had this gouge taken out. This is something we've talked about at loads of sites. Since I last came to Sweden about 5 years ago. Since then, I've noticed these gouges taken out of the rocks. In Bulgaria, they were there. In France, they were there. And other places as well. But in where we were yesterday, there was loads of those rocks. And it made me think of how in the stone circles in this area, they're supposed to be where judges sat on top of. And only until that site did I think, well, that's possible, actually. Because there are some, like where you're flying on the drone now, some of these ones on the left-hand side, you might see there's one on the right-hand side there. Yeah. There's like almost like someone's carved a seat out of it.
Yeah, those throne looks to them. Look like throne stones.
Yeah, there's a one up there, the sort of on the right hand side, the one before the end. You might be able to see the flat surfaces. That's got two really flat surfaces cut on it, which was again, there was a few of them. That one on the bottom left there as well. There was quite a few sort of surfaces where you thought, they've shaped that, they've cut that somehow, or for some reason. Yeah. But a fantastic site. I was really impressed by that. And astrologically speaking, it was an important day. It was 8th of the 8th. And all sorts going on with the planets. And it was a good spot for me last night, for sure. Excellent. But previously, so just to fill in, so last time we did a live stream, I was at close to that town where there was all of those carvings and mounds inside. Yeah. Well, I went to two other sites really close to there. Sweden Day 3. Yep. And the site, a Cornervallen. This was really, really interesting because it felt so old. It felt so old. There's a dolmen there, and I did a drone shot over it and plenty of shots of it. It looked at that's the sign you've got there. That's a sign to just one of the stones. There was basically many standing stones, loads of mounds. There was a big dolmen. That's the one. Unreal. And it just looked just all collapsed in, really eroded rock. And I'm walking around now to the other side of it. It just really looked very old, and you get a sense of the age of these places. I mean, also, like you say, a lot of the time they're reconstructed, so you don't really know, do you? But this felt really old to me. And that dolmen in particular. There was a stone circle as well. They talked about judges again, about all the different burials there, but it wasn't as. And they'd found 80 cremated bodies there, where this one there was, a bit of an urn, human bones, animal teeth, a bit of amber. It was a little bit, particularly for a graveyard or gravesite that was used for 4,000 years, there wasn't that much that they found. It was used from 5,000 BC, 5,000 years ago to 3,000 BC up until about 1,000 years ago. So they were been burying bodies there for about 4,000 years. And you can see that dolmen just looks knackered.
Oh, it's phenomenal. This is beautiful. What a cool site. And you can tell, you can say this is just an old place.
But it made me think of before as well, like how we go to these dolmen around the world, France, England, Portugal, Ireland, wherever, and I've never felt like they were actually burial sites or graves there. They didn't really find much. You go to that site, and you get that impression. There's like one dolmen, one circle, and loads of mounds and loads of other bodies, like here. This is how I would imagine it would be if this was a burial site. One stone circle, maybe for the elites of that time, and then the rest of the bodies are all scattered around here. And so Scandinavia is where I'm most convinced about the official argument about what these sites are for. I'd put it that way. That doesn't mean that they didn't find sites and then use them for their means, that they're like much older, but still. But it was a really cool what you showed there. You can see the whole bands there, standing stones and mounds, little piles of stones all over the place.
Right. And that's all just grass, huh? Just fields.
Yeah, it's pretty dry. Pretty dry looking. So yeah, that was, and where was I before that? I went to, that was in the morning, and then in the afternoon I went to Mundstorp. I wish we'd done a show there. It was a really beautiful place. It was just up a hill. There was a stone ship. There was a square rectangle, a stone rectangle, a stone square. There was 3 stone circles. Although, to be honest with you, I couldn't find all of those. I found a square, a rectangle, 2 circles, and the ship. But apparently there was a thing. But that was a really spectacular place as well. That's trying to see what you're
I'm looking at your aerial
showing.
view here, and I'm just looking at this, just imagining, you've got this chamber entrance that goes out this way. You've got these 3 mounds here. The stones run along and through the mounds. So just looking at this natural kind of pathway, this complex. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean the stone walls are probably modern, although we don't know that for a fact, do we? And that's something in the in the northeast of the States. You got a lot of the stone walls there, haven't you?
Yeah, but the dolmen walls are
mile.
fascinating. They kind of remind me of like the West Kennet Long Barrow. Do you remember that one? Outside of London, right? It's got all these different layers of history and its stonework, and that's been reconstructed so heavily. But it had those walls, the way that dolmen has those slabs for walls, those thin, long slabs of stone. Fascinating. Yeah. Super cool. And then this is interesting.
So that was the mound back there.
They covered that with gravel, though, right? I mean, the plant vegetation would have grown through there by now.
I just don't know. I mean, the people were working the land.
I mean, how much money do they have to maintain it, honestly?
Funny enough, I slept there and I woke up in the morning and there was a massive coach with Nordic Tours written on the side of it. So there was a coach trip there.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So enough people go there.
That's the part. You get woken up by coach tours. And then a Muntorp. Square and a ship.
A Muntorp. So that was where I went in the afternoon. And this was, as I say, that's what you can see now is the ship next to the square.
Corners of the ship are intact.
There was also to the left of there is the rectangle. You can see like lines going across the grass there. That's was the kind of rectangle. There was also a couple of circles, but this also had we're going across the square now over the stone ship, and there'll be a circle on the end. Yeah, there's a circle, and then there's another circle the other side of that tree, actually. And that's all I could find. It's supposed to be, it said on the sign, there's a sign there, and it said 2 stone settings and 3 stone circles. I don't know what the difference between a stone setting and a stone circle is, but apparently there is a difference, according to the sign.
A square, a ship, and a circle. That's odd.
Yeah. And this again,
Sue has a really great point. Sue says, interesting that we see the shape from the aerial view, but those on the ground wouldn't have seen that in the past. Unless, Sue, they weren't on the ground. Flying ships they had.
Like it. Oh, Jesus. Getting a bit windy here now. I don't know what happened to that sun that was so nice. I was enjoying.
Yeah, the ship is so small.
But yeah, that's true. And no more. They are. The biggest were probably like 4 or 5 tons. But what Sue's right, and they're discovering all sorts. I even got sent today by Athena. I wish she was here, but they've discovered in Blythe in the States somewhere, like because of people flying drones. I think they found this man like carved into the sort of bedrock, and you've got the Nazca lines, for example, and places they're finding in Jordan. I can't remember what they're called. Wheels of Azrak. Wheels of Azrak, they're called. So it's we're definitely seeing more from this now that we've got drones and the ability to see from the sky.
But look here. I mean, even in your own drone photo or drone video here, there's some sort of small ring right here of stones. There's another mound top of stones here, right? A huge cropping of stones. So it's not crazy to think that maybe they missed one or two things. Like, what's up with this? That looks to me like a small stone circle, like a little ring or a well or something like you would see.
There were. I mean, I can't remember what the sign said. I've looked at so many signs over the last week. Like, there's a video on Instagram of me talking about what they've written on the sign.
Burial ground and
But
lime works at Amsterdam. The burial ground is located in the west side of the flatlands. So this is from late Iron Age, they think 400 to 1000. I mean, maybe they
yeah, I
were.
can't remember
Maybe
what
they
it
were
says
just
about.
rebuilding them later. They were like, "Oh, the stone circles are a really big deal. We need to keep it going." Like an iPhone, they just get smaller and smaller and smaller as they went through history.
No, but historically speaking, it's been. I mean, if you look in Peru, for example, it's the older sites that are made out of the bigger stones, isn't it? And that's what I got where we were at, where I was at. I keep saying we, but the Akis place I was actually with the huge boulders. That felt really old to me. That felt really old as well. And I wonder if, I see these stone ships and I automatically think Viking. But I wonder if the Vikings got the stone ship and the shape idea from the stones that were already there. Do we know what order they came in? And do we know where the Vikings got the idea for their ship shapes, And
Mm-hmm.
so just because I say they're heavily used as graves in this country, it really feels like that. Same as Denmark. You get the impression, when you're finding the remains of 80 different human bodies, I'm like, okay, cool, that's a burial site. It sounds like it to me. But, there's, as I say, there's plenty of others around the world where they don't find those kind of remains. But just because at the moment or we are finding these bodies here, that it doesn't mean that these sites weren't there before. And we're like, this is cool, it feels sacred, I like the energies here, let's bury our dead here. And so we're aging a civilization that came along thousands of years after these were actually built.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting it out there, I don't know, I've got no idea.
Well, that actually brings up another great point. So we've been doing these live streams while Mick's on his trip, and we hope to do more of these. Obviously, we do have some regular content that we're hoping to develop and kind of start pushing out once Mick lands safely back in the UK or wherever decide to. But we do have some content coming aside from our the usual documentaries and the beautiful films that Mick's always making. We also were talking about doing some of the weekly kind of roundup of some of these stories and findings and discussing them a little bit. So that's something to look forward to.
It's just
hopefully
got a lot of ideas, haven't we? It's just finding the time.
Finding the time is always the hardest part. So thanks to everybody for joining us live. We really appreciate it. But also for those on replay, as Sue mentions, some of us can't make it obviously at all the time, and we appreciate you watching. And feel free to
that's good as well, because
yeah.
The thing is that I don't have to edit this site now, so it's really nice for me because I've just got so much backlog of editing to do. I started editing megaliths in Belgium today. I'm trying to finish megaliths in Bulgaria, and so as much as anything, these live streams, it's just nice to be joined by friends to think things through, and also it's now live and on YouTube as soon as we finish this. But let's have a quick look at this circle. I'm going to quickly.
Well, he turns the camera around.
Not much.
There it is.
Yeah. There's not much to it, really.
9 stones
as I said,
in the circle.
Yeah. Which is a local story of there always being 7, 9, 11, or 13, so that it's an odd number and the judges always have to make a decision. So it kind of ties in with that story.
This one has a circle off
some
to
of
the
them,
east, or a stone off to the east, though. Right, so if there's that weird little stone that's just out to the side. That wasn't an accident.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. I mean, this has got 1876, but again, that makes my point of, people come along at a later date and modify it, don't they? So someone's written that on there. That doesn't mean this was built or put here in 1876. But maybe some archaeologists would think that,
No, somebody found it in 1876, so they could say, hey, I found this in 1876. You find me a rock that says 1875 or earlier. And
exactly. And these stones here, look, this could have been something. A lot of the time these sites are destroyed by farmers and people building castles and all sorts of stuff. We've seen that. Not accusing that 200 years ago they didn't have the same understanding or respect for these sites as we do, so they would just reuse the stones. And so it's not
Rome too. Don't forget, Rome came through and just destroyed so much in their path. Who knows what was there before?
Exactly. And the Nazis, and like every time someone occupies, they tend to try and destroy the history, don't they? So this is another cairn. They seem to have this at every site. But as I say, this feels like an actual burial site, because you've got one of these, you've got a circle there, and then that's where the important people of the town were, and then everyone else is just scattered all around here.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not much to talk about with this one. Like you say, there's this stone off shot, and there's some pink quartz in this. It's the same local stone we've been seeing. You'll see loads of crystals in there, and yeah, that's it.
But the other site,
it's still raining.
The one Ammontorp, same thing.
Yeah.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 stones in the ring, and then one out to the side. Right.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Why always one out to the side? Who's on that stone? The stenographer.
Well, I think. Well, when you start asking those kind of questions, it's hard to look for the mainstream for answers. But when you start talking to people who are into energies and those kind of things at these sites, then you start to get possible reasons for that. So let me explain. I'm going to turn the camera again. So I have a theory, and it's just a theory before anyone shouts at me online, which people probably will, but we're talking about the ley lines and how they interact with these sites. And when I look at all of these sites and the different shapes of them, it feels like they are creating the shapes to interact with those energies in different ways. So with a circle, for example, you can have the ley line energies coming in, and it just circles, just spins, goes from stone to stone to stone. And if you have one off shot and you sit on that stone, maybe you connect to that energy and it focuses on you, and that kind of thing. The dolmen looks like maybe the ley lines come into the dole, round the top, and come out the other side. It's kind of like another chamber for harnessing that ley line energy. And yeah, why not? If with these ley lines are interacting with these sites, there's got to be a reason for the different shapes. Standing stones, it's just like an acupuncture needle into the ground, and you can go there and you can touch it and you can feel the ley line energies or that kind of thing. And that's the theory I have. There's another stone off here, though. There's another one off here.
Yeah.
But there's tons of them around.
I mean, it looks like there's another ring over there, I'll be honest, in the northwest. If you look at the Google map here.
Where's that, though? I don't happen to have my compass on me.
Where's the sun? Let's see. You know where the
Good
North
question,
Star is?
Brother.
I'm guessing by the looks of things, if you're at the edge of the plain, if you're looking at the trees.
There's a road and a house there.
Okay. So
there's a road and a house just there.
That's due east. Okay. So due west behind you, see that tree? It would look like just right behind that tree is a stone circle. And it would look like just below
is that near where
is a mound. So here's the I'm going to circle with the mouse. Here's the circle here. And then here's the mound or the patch as well, where there's something else.
So, and where am I standing now? Where's the circle?
You're right here. So are you in the middle of the circle? So you walk towards that. Let's go for a walk. Go walk towards that tree.
Yeah. Right, where's the mound of stones, the cairn, so I can get my. I'm looking at the map now.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure this right here, this patch of grass, is either a lens flare on Google, or you're looking at some sort of structure, right? So here's your ring. Here's the tree casting a nice big shadow. So at the base of that tree, on the shadow side, so on the other side of the tree from you, you should see possibly a ring.
Dude,
and then south.
There's about 50 trees. That's why I'm asking if you can tell me where we can go for a walk.
But there's only one tree behind you, where the house. If you're looking at that house, right? If you're looking right at the house, is there a tree that you see to your left a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, you see a little tree to your
towards the house.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the house, is there a tree on your left side a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other tree.
Go towards that.
No, go to the tree behind you.
Right. Okay.
The tree I look at right now.
Oops.
All right, there we go.
Let me turn the. Sorry, I was supposed to turn the camera around then.
That's all right.
This is why we haven't really.
So this is where, yeah. See.
Sorry.
So that's that mound of stones, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that mound of stones right there.
So over the top of it.
But right now, just south of that, right where you are, look behind you, at the earth behind you.
Yeah.
All that grass is like a mound.
Yeah. Oh, this here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can tell on the topography here in Google Maps. See that? That's your mound right there. This is how you do it, folks. This is how we do it sometimes, is we just look at the images on Google Maps. Okay, and then... Okay, so now...
Yes.
With looking at that tree again, go to see those stones on the other side. Let's go check those out. That big stone that you just saw might be part of another ring. Ooh.
I see.
Ooh, looks like a circle to me.
What, this one thing? Oh, I see. Oh, there's another one. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's a stone circle. Stand up on that big judgment rock.
But there's this is a mound.
Another mound, yeah, right there.
And then there is. Look, there's a ring of stones. So there's a...
There we go.
Ring here. There's one in the background.
People.
Well, hence the modern explorers.
There it is. Yeah.
This is that's the mound you're talking about there, I guess.
It is, yeah. So even more.
Yeah.
And you can see, because you're in this wooded area, but you can see little tiny things like this. There's part of a ship, probably. I would bet there's a ship here, right? And these stones even further over, they look like they line up like a ship. Something going on there. So, if you went over another chunk of distance, another 50 to 100 feet, yeah, you'll keep finding stones.
Well, I wish I could have droned. If it hadn't been raining the whole time, I would have droned it. But...
what's a little water?
There's some stones over there as well. The whole area looks like you say. I'm backing you up. I can see stones over by that tree, over there.
See, so it's interesting. It might just be one little ring that they've found or advertised, but that's quite a bit more, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's quite a bit more. And they've sectioned off this land, you can see, because they've converted so much of this to farmland. And we talked about what's been taken out. But let's zoom out. I mean, look at all this agriculture. Unless you can make it to this island, I'll bet you there's something on there. I don't know why that little island got reserved. That's weird.
Yeah.
Go see.
What?
You see this?
Which island?
If you look at Google Maps, right? You're at the red dot, Lekebacken, right? Here's the circle that you were at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is this over here, this whole farm area, torn up, but this little area is not?
I see.
What's here?
Well, that is typical of Sweden. You can look at the film we got on YouTube about Upland. It was just covered, absolutely covered. Everywhere you look, there was just standing stones and not many dolmen, but circles and lines of stones.
Yep.
So that would fit in with what we think about Sweden.
But why is this part not touched? What is in this wooded area? I think it's worth a look.
Not now. You kidding?
Yeah.
You want me to go over there?
Yeah,
What?
dig through these trees, man. Something over there.
While you're sat at home
Well, yeah, it's dry where I
in
am.
your warm, your warm, cozy chair.
This cozy.
But there are a few stone circles in this area, and there's also a dolmen on megalithic. You can see this on the map there, but I'm going to go visit. There's a site tomorrow where there are numerous structures. I can't remember exactly what. There's like a ship and some circles, but it does seem, as I said, when I come to these places, there's more than one site. There'll be a menhir and a dolmen and a circle and a ship, or like the one yesterday where there's a square, a rectangle, circles, a ship. You know, it seems to be that there's sites with multiple structures.
They said that this site could have 110 burial mounds and structures in it. Just this site you're in now, but it's just so covered with leaves.
Mm.
And we're talking
and
about
they don't come, do they? They just leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, they haven't even excavated here.
No, there could be gold and jewels under all them rocks. No,
for sure.
But I'll tell you what I do know. There's something over there in these bushes. Something over here.
Yeah, well, fly over here, Jay, and we'll go and have a look. How's that?
Sounds good. I mean, there's definitely a dolmen or something here. You can see it.
Come off it. There's a dolmen.
Look, right here.
Where?
Right here. You can't look right there. I'll bet you.
Really?
Because look, there's like everybody pulls up to right here and goes in right here.
Mm.
There's something there.
If it wasn't raining, I'd go and have a walk over there. But...
yeah, you can get to
another time.
The road. You can drive around and get to it.
Well, maybe after. I think we should probably wrap this up now.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I agree.
Yeah, you've got kids to feed.
Yeah. Sue says it's fascinating to see how we determine that there are mounds there. Yeah, it's funny what you can see with a little Google. There's another one here. Another one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there where you're standing, not far.
Well, they're not on megalithic, so that could be a discovery of ours.
Yeah. They talk about a little bit of them in megalithic, but not like that.
Mm.
You know?
Well, not on the map I saw anyway.
Yeah.
When I was looking for sites in this area, I didn't see any dolmen. Otherwise, I would have gone to them.
No.
Secrets.
Secrets.
Yeah. So, thank you, Sue. Thank you. I'm not sure how many viewers we've got, but it's not important. As I said, this is a way of us recording in the moment.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Sue. And this is an example of how you can join in. You can direct us round. You can also be looking up on Google and saying, "Hey, Mick, go and look over there." And this is an idea and an example of how this can be interactive. As I said, we're trialing this, see how it goes. And if we get to a stage where we're happy with our performance, phones not overheating and all of this kind of stuff, then we'll start to advertise it. And this could be a nice gathering of plenty of people, let's put it that way, who are into these kind of things and know about these kind of things.
That's right. You can join in, you can chat, you can hit us up if you're watching later on. You can hit us up in the comments. We read the comments. We will answer your questions. We will do our best to engage with you, and hopefully we'll join with you on this next live stream that we do. Again, we're trying to get these out while Mick is in the field. It's hard to get out there. It's hard to travel right now. The world is a funky, fickle place, and just having Mick out in the field is a great way to experience all these sites. Please like and share, subscribe for more updates. Yeah. Check us out, modernexplorers.co.uk. We have all of our links up there. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. And And do follow us so you get all the notifications of when we go live.
And I would like to say one thing. It's modernexplorers.co.uk. We don't. That's how we say it. My side of the pond.
Oh, that's
brother.
right. Sorry.
Co.uk.
Just needed a
Not
little
CO.
bottle of water to help me enunciate. That's
correct.
Co.
Yeah, and also we're also on Instagram, so you can follow me. I do little 1 to 2 minute little overviews of sites before I start filming and things, and so that's also another way. We're on Insta, YouTube, bit of Twitter. I don't really like Twitter.
It's actually X now. Yeah.
X Twitter.
Yeah,
X
Twitter, a little bit of TikTok. Maybe if it's worth it.
That's true.
We kind of let that go as well. It's just more time. This is where the action is, right here. This is where you want to be. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one, folks.